Okay, so welcome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thanks for joining this interview to Jordan Leckey. And this is super interesting interview. Jordan just completed not only a crossing in the North Channel, but imposing a new world record. So it's an honor to meet Jordan here. So welcome, Jordan. How are you
Thank you.
doing?
Yes, I'm doing brilliant today. Yeah, the weather could be a bit better, but I suppose whenever you're living in Ireland, it's always the weather, isn't it?
Yes, I can imagine. Well, here we are in winter. We are in Peru. It's winter. Our temperatures are not lower as yours, but we try to enjoy our ocean as well. Okay, so for the ones who don't know me, my name is Rosa Calderón. You can call me Rose, and I'm a Peruvian swimmer. I love not only swim but also try to exchange information, experience from swimmers from around the world, and also get to meet each other and touch base experience in order to increase our sport. Open water swimming is very, let's say, important sport. You can practice every time. Every age, and I think it's a way also to put eyes over our ocean that should be take for everyone in the world. So with that said, let's start our interview. So uh, welcome, Jordan, and trying to know a little bit of your background, how you started swimming, how you develop your swimming across the years. Where did you start swimming in
Yeah,
your country, maybe in the university?
yeah.
Tell us.
So I started swimming whenever I was about 4 years old. Just started like lessons, the way like normal kids just start in like lessons, and I joined a club then. Maybe whenever I was about 5 or 6, I joined the local club, just pool swimming club, and uh, I swam. That was Portadown Swimming Club. I swam in there, and then I moved to a different swimming club whenever I was about 10. That was Lurgan Swimming Club, and my coach now, uh, even like that's 19 years ago. That's my coach now is still the same coach that started coaching me whenever I was 10. So whenever I was 10, I was in Lurgan, and I was never like the fastest pool swimmer ever. Whenever I was younger, whenever I was like 10, 11, 12. And then whenever I was 13, 14, 15, that's whenever I really started to like progress in my swimming. I was always like a breaststroker and a butterflyer. I was never freestyle. I never even liked freestyle. Freestyle was just wasn't for me. So I loved fly. Fly is my favorite by far. I was just scared at breaststroke, so that's why I swam events in breaststroke. And whenever I was like 15, 16, and 17, like I was part of the Ulster squad, which is like a sort of like a provincial squad. We have well, yeah, we have provinces. So in Ireland, there'd be 4 provinces, and they all get split up into different squads. And so I would have been swimming for the Ulster squad, and then I would have been swimming for Ireland as well around that time. And then I went to university and stuff, and then sort of like stopped swimming at that point. Uh, and then I came back from university, and it would have been in about 2018. The club they asked me to come back and do a few like inter club galas, just in the pool. And I was swimming those PTLs, and I was just enjoying swimming again. And a few of the ones were doing open water swimming out at Loch Ness. Like a lot of our open water swims, they tend to be in fresh water because we have a lot of lochs in Ireland and a lot of lakes. So I went down and I was doing a wee bit of training out in the open water there, and I went to my first race in 2018, and I won it. So I was like, why not just continue doing the open water, because open water is a lot more fun than pool swimming. Like you're not just staring at the black line at the bottom of the pool. Like you actually get to see like the world around you. You get to see mountains and you get to see forests, and like it's not just controlled pool conditions. Like you have currents and you have the wind and the cold, and but at the start I was a wetsuit swimmer. I always swam in a wetsuit, and so 2018, that's whenever I started open water. And then 2019, 2020. Do you have any global swim series swims in Peru?
No,
No, you don't. You
no.
should you should contact them and get some global swim series swims over there, because uh, in Ireland we have a lot of global swim series swims. It's this here. It's a swim series. It's run by these two Canadian guys, and it's essentially there's I think there's like 100, there's like 120 swims or something over like 60 or 70 countries, and it's an accumulation of points. So you travel around all of the races, and you get like points. Like the max amount of points you get is like 99.99 for coming first, and then like you get less points as you go down the pack in the race. But so I did 20 races in the 2019-2020 season. So I did a lot in Ireland, and then I went to France and I swam in France, and I swam in Morocco because they have some swims in Morocco as well. And then I ended up, so I won the Global Swim Series that year, that season. I won the 2019-2020 male wetsuit category, with like the highest accumulation of points that there ever was in like the history of the Global Swim Series. Um, so like whenever like I went into that season, like that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to win the Global Swim Series, and I just put all my effort and all of my training in into doing that. So, and then that leads us up to today, really. So it does, yeah. After that, then it was channel swim. So, yeah,
That's
that's
amazing. So
yeah, brief history.
you started then as a kid,
Yeah, I started swimming whenever I was at 4 years of age. Yeah,
4 years. Wow,
yeah,
this is amazing.
yeah,
So you started very early with the
yeah,
swimming techniques, the training,
yeah,
and since that, then you started everything, and eventually you get into the university
yeah.
studies, but you come back to
I
the
come back to it.
swimming,
Yeah,
but not only to the swimming pool, but you expanded to open water.
yeah. I wish I'd
That-
started open water whenever I was like 18, before I went to university. I wish I'd started then, because it would have been different. So it would have. But sure, this is the way it worked out. So
Yeah, no, but it is good. I think normally we, if we have the possibility of learning to swim, it could be in a swimming pool
yeah,
with a coach to learn the techniques correctly. Then when you are like good trained in that aspect, then you jump into the ocean, into the lakes, into the
yeah.
lagoons. So then the distance you can swim, it would increase, but you
Oh
have
yeah,
the base that is a
yeah. You
technique.
need the base. Yeah, the techniques. The technique's the most important thing, really.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, so um, going to the open water swimming career. So you started as a kid, you learned the technique, then eventually you start looking for competitions. The global swim, I never heard from that, but it's good to know.
Yeah,
I will
do look
search
into
a
that
little bit.
after. Yeah,
And then you enroll in that competition,
yeah,
and you propose to win, and you
yeah,
win, and you won
yeah,
that competition. So that's amazing. And for in that time you were still using wetsuit,
yeah,
neoprene.
yeah.
All right. Okay. So that's good because here in Peru we don't have, or at least we don't know about that competition. But there is our community is growing, so we have a lot of swimmers that are start doing races, doing swims, and
Yeah,
maybe they will become interested in this open global swim. And we
yeah,
have we
perfect.
have places, beaches where they can start their swim. So I will research from
Yeah,
that
definitely do
later.
research that because it's very easy to get involved in as well because there was a few swims that were going on in Ireland, and I said to them like you should become part of the global swim series. It's basically you just the race organizers just have to contact the global swim series, and it's really easy to register with them, and it automatically gets more people to come to your races too because a lot of people start following like the global swim series themselves, so it gets makes the races bigger too.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
Yeah,
Okay, so perfect. And then you started swimming channels. The North Channel is your first channel?
yeah, yeah,
Wow. And
yeah.
okay, and it is like the first one you didn't hear about that or other channels, but this one it was the first one that I think because it's close to your country, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's my home channel, so I have to do it first, don't I? Um,
Yeah, absolutely. And you know that this is the, let's say, hardest channel
yeah,
for all the
technically the
series.
hardest channel. Yeah,
So the
yeah.
other ones would be like easy for you.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
I know.
yes.
I know.
Yes, Catalina. Well, Catalina is not. But who knows?
Yeah.
Our friend Natalia the other day told us about a big journey, 19 hours
Oh
and
wow,
40 minutes swimming in Catalina Channel. Yeah,
that's a
it.
long time.
Yeah, and it was because all the time she was fighting against the
Currents.
current.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was an unusual day. Even the temperature was cool as the usual one, but
yeah,
she continued fighting, pushing, and he completed that cross. So yeah, never we never need have to give for granted nothing.
no, we can't. No.
Yeah, but the North Channel is known because of the lowest temperature. So for sure, you started with the let's say the most complex, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
great. And with a new record, that is also another success. So that's amazing. Congratulations, and
Thank you.
we
Cheers.
still we have more questions.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so three remarkable swims prior the North Channel fastest swim.
Three remarkable swims. I don't know. See, the problem is once you do a swim, it doesn't feel that remarkable because you feel like even the North Channel doesn't feel that remarkable to me anymore. You know,
No,
because I've did it. Like you
uh,
know, it's just sort of there's some swims that I really like. I like there's a wee bit of echo coming through there. So there is Rosa.
which one?
There's a wee bit of echo coming through. Was there? Oh no, it's better now.
Yeah, it's my neighbor that is doing something.
Oh right, okay. No, so there's one swim I really like. There's a swim, it's called the Omeath the Carlingford, so it's between two towns and it's a 7.9K. It's a sea swim. It's a really good swim. It's run by Infinity, the same people who did my boat cover for the channel swim. They run that swim. It's a really, really good swim. I like it. Uh, it's always really tricky because the tides like it basically controls how you swim, and even if the tide's going out, we did it on the 25th of July this year, so it was literally just before my North Channel swim, um, and I won that this year. I won the male skins category this year. That was my first ever year doing it in skins. The year before I did it in wetsuit and all. um, but it's a really tough swim because we were swimming. Luckily, we had the tide going with us, but we were swimming into like really, really heavy wind, so it was really, really choppy. And but that makes a fun swim. I think I like the challenge. Like if you go out and it's flat and calm, it's, it can be really boring. So it can. But yeah, and after about I was only in the water about 10 minutes, so I think it took me an hour, maybe an hour and 40 to finish, and uh, about 10 minutes in, like I was throwing up and everything because like the chop was so bad, and I couldn't get a breath. So yeah, I was just taking on lots and lots of seawater. But it's that makes for a good swim, I think. You know, there's
Okay.
no point. If it was easy, I have this saying: if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Uh-huh.
So if it's hard, that makes it worthwhile. It's the same with the North Channel. And me as Chris Judge, a guy Chris Judge, he was the reason that I sort of like went to do the North Channel because he's done it before, and I'd be good friends with him, and like I would train with him and stuff. And that was always the motto. Like whenever I was training and stuff got hard, uh, the motto was always, well, if it was hard, everybody would do it, and you just have to keep going on.
Yes.
So yeah, if it wasn't hard, everybody would do it. That's what I like about
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Okay, so for you, the remarkable swims are the ones that are not easy, the hard
yeah,
one. Maybe the
hardest
ones
ones.
that maybe it will be a usually calm swim, but if that eventually
Yeah,
go like,
yeah, if it goes full sideways, yeah,
that
I,
could be
that's
at
the best.
at a place of, adrenaline,
Yeah,
difficulty, and then it's like you did it and it
yeah.
wasn't not easy.
Oh,
Okay, right.
exactly. Yeah,
Okay, perfect. Then the other channels would be maybe not easy as well, but usually the North channel is that the most difficult one. But each
yeah.
channel has its own
Challenges,
difficulty.
doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah. Molokai, for example, it is known because of the you know you have the jellyfishes, but they are
Yeah,
complicated, not so easy to if you get stick by that, it's complicated. So it
yeah, it
has
is.
different difficulties.
Yeah, and
But
The New Zealand channel too. It's really, really strong currents because it's you're trying to swim between the two islands, and the currents ripping through the middle. So like every channel's hard. You're never going to go and swim an easy
yes.
channel. So you're
Hmm.
not every channel is really hard. And saying that one's harder than the other, it
Yeah.
really depends on the day that you get as well. I got a
Yes, the
really good day.
climate. Yeah, that was also a good opportunity to break the record.
Yes, I know, I know.
Okay, so so our next question, our next curiosity: how Jordan did get prepared for the North Channel swim? Any special diet, quantity of kilometers to swim per week, physical preparation, the preparation also for the coolest temperature, because it is not easy to get adjusted to
Yeah,
that temperature hours, because it's not like 1 hour swim that okay you can resist maybe, but it's night, it's more than one. So how do you
yeah.
get prepared for that?
So, well, I started off, well, my prep started just at the end of last summer. And because of COVID and everything, there was no pools open. And I was still a wetsuit swimmer at that point. So I didn't really want to get into the cold just yet, whenever I didn't have to, because everywhere was getting colder because it was going into autumn. So I built that pool. I built that pool in my garage.
Let me put that in
Yeah,
our screen so our audience can see what was that.
yeah. So I built that pool. It's 4 meters by about 2 meters across, and I built that there. I tethered myself to the wall. You can sort of see the wee bungee cord around my waist, and I swam in that. for most of the winter. That's what I swam in.
With music.
Yeah, yeah. I needed the music. I need something to get me out of my head. So I do.
That's nice.
Yeah, yeah. So I would just go in there and just swim and swim and just keep swimming for as long as I could. Really, it's quite because you're tethered onto the wall. It's quite hard on the shoulders because you're not actually like moving through the water. Um, you know, like normally whenever you swim, you pull down and like you sort of like move with the water. Instead, like you're actually pushing the water behind, so it's a lot more. It puts a lot more stress on your shoulders.
Wow.
So you don't realistically where if you swam for an hour tethered up, it would sort of be like the equivalent of maybe swimming like 2 hours if you were in a normal pool or something because of the strain that you put onto your shoulders. Um, but yeah, that's what I did all winter essentially. So that pool was about 12 degrees Celsius.
12 degrees
Yeah,
Celsius.
yeah,
So,
and
so you adjust the temperature um, to this 12 degrees Celsius,
yeah, because
preparing
we didn't.
for
Yeah,
the North Channel.
sort of, yeah. Well, we only had like a wee small heater that was like this size for the whole pool, so you couldn't even get it any warmer. So you couldn't. And then in about March time, the temperature because in our lake, well, in our lock beside where I train in during the winter, like it can go down into like 1 degree Celsius. So like you're never going to be swimming like distance in that. So we can only really go out to swim properly in about March time, and that's whenever I started going into the open water to start my training, and I like left the pool. So it was about 9 degrees whenever I started swimming in the lock, without my wetsuit on. So that's whenever I really started like my open water side of the preparation for the North Channel, where I was actually like doing proper like kilometers out in the lock. But quantity of kilometers a week, it's sort of I don't really like doing like setting like a goal of like how many kilometers I should
Uh
do
huh.
because it's good to have like a good like set like road out to where like you're gonna go in, you're gonna do 5, 6, 7 kilometers or whatever in your session. But
Mm-hmm.
for like the whole week, because you don't know how you're gonna feel every day. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know how you're gonna like your body's gonna respond. I like
Mm-hmm.
getting a good quality of
Mm-hmm.
training in. Like there'd be sometimes I would go into the pool and maybe only swim 4.5 k, but like it would all be like hitting specific pace targets. Like I do a lot of like my pace target work. So whenever I was in the pool, I'd be trying to hold like maybe coming in on like a 110 to like a 113 per 100 pace, and then like but keeping that going for like maybe like 20 or 30 100s just to try and like increase like my cardiovascular endurance. And I don't need to be doing 10k of that there because if I was doing 10k of that there, I would be burning myself out for the next day to where I couldn't go in and train properly the next day. And whenever I was training like in open water, like whenever I would go to like the lock and stuff, like I would always try and get my body because in my head, Infinity have this here sort of like motto. It's 4 kilometers an hour is golden. It's like that's the speed that you want to be trying to like attain. Like that's the goal. So like well I can hold 4 kilometers an hour. Um like that well that is my pace. That's so basically the pace that I held for the North Channel was 4k an hour. And so whenever I'm training in open water, like that's the pace that I try and hold. So it's more about like holding pace for like the duration than actual like trying to get like 50 or 60 or 70k done for the whole week.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's interesting because sometimes we have like, a plan, and in the plan you have some kilometers to complete, and then you have to stick to that. And
Yeah,
sometimes even if you don't feel, you know, so well, you sometimes do not sleep enough
yeah,
hours, you feel kind of, tired, but you see your plan, 7K.
yeah,
And
exactly.
then you don't know how, but you get into that. But
Yeah,
eventually you get hurt, or sometimes
exactly.
injured, or not feel as well or as good
Yeah.
as you used to. So
No, no, you can definitely overtrain, and you can definitely like work your body too hard. You need to, es- especially in open water, because like you're asking it to deal with the cold, and you're asking it to deal with all these other things that if you're not listening to your body, eventually it's going to give up. You're going to end up with injuries, and you're going to end up uh, with problems everywhere else. So if you need to listen to your body with regards to your training. Like if it's saying someday that if your shoulder starts to hurt, um, don't swim through it. Like there was days I would get in and I'd have a wee twinge in my shoulder, and I would only be 2K into the session, and I would keep swimming on. I would swim on maybe another kilometer, and if it still hurt after another kilometer, you get out. You get out at 3K, even if you wanted to do 5 or 6 kilometers. If you do another 3 kilometers, who's to say that you're not going to be out for another 4 days of no training? You know?
hmm yeah, that's good. That's a good advice, and that's a good, thought, because sometimes we become, let's say, very rigid to ourselves, try to complete whatever is written,
Yeah,
as it was written in stone, and
yeah.
then we forget that we need to listen our body, and then that is it is not the last day of the session. If we
No,
need
it's
to
not. Yeah,
rest, we always have the next day or the other next day. So it could be more maybe rewarded or more productive if we rest or get, recover.
exactly, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. So, and and if that comes from you,
yeah.
that
Oh,
just cross the North Channel and
yeah,
break our record, so it has, a plus of authority.
yeah, yeah. Rest is definitely just as important as the training. So it is. You
Yeah.
have you have to rest.
Super, super, super advices. Okay, so let's see our next curiosity, and let me see. Okay, 9 hours, 9 minutes, and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Wherever in any plan for Jordan at all?
Nope. Never. Um, I think it was in the plan for my team, but it was never in my plan. Um, I so the like my plan from the whole from I booked it, it was just to swim to Scotland. It was never ever to break a world record or to end up doing anything else but swim to Scotland. Um, I just needed something to train for, because I can't train unless I have a goal. It was so I'd finished the global swim series, and I was left being like, what do I do next? Like, where do I go? So I was like, all right, I'll swim to Scotland. And yeah, so I just trained to swim to Scotland. And I think everybody sort of got a wee bit of a buzz whenever you have to do a qualifier for the North Channel. You have to do a 6 hour qualifier in below 13-degree water. So I done a 6 hour at the start of, at the end of June. I done my 6 hour qualifier, and I got 26 kilometers done. So yeah, so that was fast, and I didn't feel like I was going that fast, but I think that's whenever like Infinity and the other, like my other teammates, like I think that's whenever they were like, yeah. like you have the pace to break the record, but I never I never actually like set out to go and break a record. I just went out and swam like I'd always swam, you know?
Yes, I see. So it was never in your plans, but you just swim
Yeah.
as good as you can, and then
Yeah.
eventually it turned it over to a world record. But it was in your team's plan, so maybe even if you don't know, they were like pushing, but
Yeah.
if let's say in secret.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was all in secret. Apparently at about the 8 hour mark, they knew that I had a chance of breaking the world record, and uh, they didn't tell me. They never said anything because the North Channel can change so quickly that
Yeah.
I could, yeah, like it might look like it's only going to take me an hour, but something could happen and it could take 2 or 3 hours. So they didn't want to tell me just in case I was disappointed whenever I did finish. And no one wants to finish a channel swim and be disappointed. Um, but and I thought there was in the last kilometer they held up the whiteboard and they were like, it's only 1 kilometer to go, and they were trying to push me on. So they were telling me to swim faster and swim faster. And I thought I was in the water for 11 hours. Like I thought I'd been swimming for 11 hours. In my head, that's what I counted. I counted 11 hours. So I was wondering why are they pushing me so hard? Like there's no reason for this. And then I just thought, oh, they're just excited because we're so close to the end. They want to see like a good strong finish, you know? And so I just pushed on as hard as I could. And yeah, it was only whenever I think you have a video of it. It was only whenever I finished.
Yeah, let me try to put that. I
I think
think,
it's the one where
yeah, I
you can
think,
see the cliffs. Yeah,
On arrival in Scotland.
Yes! Go on, Jordan! Yes!
The clock time, the clock time.
yeah,
yeah.
and let me push the
That's
other. Yeah, I think I
yeah,
have the other where, and yeah, this is the other.
yeah.
Jordan, congratulations. A new world record. Oh, even
That
Dorothy's in. Oh my
yeah,
God.
Yeah, every.
yeah. So that guy I'm hugging there, that's Chris Judge. He's from the channel before, and then that's Dorothy. That's my coach from I was playing, and then that's
Wow.
Jessica
So this
there,
is Jordan's dad,
and that's my support swimmer,
Jordan's coach,
and then that's
his
my
support
dad.
swimmer.
That other guy, that's my dad.
Oh,
Yeah, that's my dad there.
wow.
But Jessica there, my
Class.
support swimmer, she's only 15.
Wow.
She's the youngest ever support swimmer on the North Channel. So she
Wow.
is. She's an incredible swimmer. So she is. She was racing this afternoon. I was looking to race, but then I was working and stuff. So, uh, yeah, she had a wee five. She had a wee 5 kilometer. She had a 5 kilometer race today, and she won that. You know, so she's going to do big things as well.
Wow. Now, this is an amazing moment, and
Yeah,
all the crew jump over the
yeah,
ocean, no matter the temperature.
yeah. I know, I know. See, whenever I stood up and Chris was shouting, just after that video ended, whenever I stood up on the cliff, um, that was he shouted, "That's a world record," and that was the first I knew of it. I had no idea before that, no idea whatsoever.
It was a strategy, Jordan, because if they tell you before, maybe you probably get nervous, or
Yeah, exactly.
maybe
Yeah,
the pressure over your shoulders
I know
can count more than the swim itself. So
exactly.
I think it was a strategy.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a strategy.
Yeah.
But also the boatman, the boat driver, the pilot, he was really, really good. Because nobody's ever swam it in such a straight line before. If you look at the map, I sent you a wee map my
Yes.
map,
Let me
map
let,
I did.
let me yeah. Let me get that. Okay, so let me share. There you are. There you are. Can you see the map?
Yeah, I can see the map. So normally the map like is not as like that looks basically like a straight line. Normally it looks like an S. So
Yes.
normally, yeah, you go down and then you go right up and then you come back down into Scotland again. But mine was essentially just a straight line across. So I only at the shortest, like in a dead straight line, the North Channel is 34.7 kilometers, and I swam 36 kilometers. So I only added 1.3 kilometers onto the total distance. Most of the time, people swim upwards of 40 kilometers whenever they're swimming the channel, um,
Yes.
because of the
Yes.
S pattern that they have to do.
Normally currents do their job.
Exactly, yeah. People on the same day as me, they ended up with an S pattern and all too. But the boatman, basically, we swam like sort of like diagonal, so we were like moving forward because, but we were swimming like into the current, but like sort of into the current, but forwards at the same time. So like I was only traveling at like 4 kilometers an hour, but I was like swimming at like 4.3 kilometers an hour because I was like fighting against the current the whole time. And Jessica's actually just texted me making fun of me calling the boat pilot the boatman. Yeah, so
Oh wow.
yeah, she just texted me. She's listening in. Um, but yeah, so it's literally a lot of people were phoning Jacqueline. Jacqueline's the Infinity Woman, being like, "How do we get the straight line? How like
Yeah.
yeah?" And she was all like, "You just need to be able to swim faster than the currents to get the straight line." That's why towards the end you can sort of see it. I'm going up a wee bit because I'm sort of like that's whenever I'm like slowing down a bit and finding a wee bit tougher. So the pilot's letting me take the current a wee bit up. So he is, but he tried to like see if I could hold. He tried to like see how long I could hold that straight line for.
Hmm. So it's not that you didn't have current the day, but you fight or swam faster enough to go
To
through the
overcome them.
current. Yeah.
Essentially, yeah, yeah,
Wow. That's
yes.
well, that's incredible. It is not a normal or a usual
No,
um,
yeah, no, not
swim to be able to cut the current and cross against and in the
exactly.
middle
Yeah,
to draw this beautiful line.
yeah. See, I I think that was all part of like the secret team plan that I wasn't part of. I thought I would have been just doing the same S as everybody else, but the team they had other ideas, so they did.
Yeah, again, a strategy, but well, the training you have, this train you have, it is like the ingredient to
Yeah,
try this strategy, this swim, to have this straight line. It's not easy. It's difficult. Normally, swimmers prefer to swim a little more longer or hours instead of
yeah.
fighting with the current because it's not
Oh, it's
easy.
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can hurt yourself. So yeah, definitely it was a very impressive, um, you know, accomplishment. So congratulations again, and nice map.
yeah. It's all right.
Okay, so let's continue. If you can divide in three phases your North Challenge swim, what they
Yeah,
could be? Because sometimes we start in some mood, then we at the end we see something, and then at the end it is different. So just
yeah.
maybe you have more phases, but just
I
three.
don't. I do. I actually only have three phases, and I can split them up. It's literally the first phase is the first 2 hours, maybe the first hour and 45 minutes. Um, so whenever I jumped in, because I'd done the 6 hours and it was like below 13 degrees, I wasn't worried about temperature or anything. I was like, oh, because after the 6 hours, I was fine. Like, no, I didn't feel the cold at all. I was grand. And so I was like, oh, this is going to be the same. And I jumped into the water and I felt the cold straight away. But I think that was like a mixture of like nerves and everything. Like my brain was feeling it more. It wasn't like my body wasn't used to it. So whenever I jumped in, it was excruciatingly cold. And I can remember it just being cold. And you have to swim from the boat up to land to start your swim. So I swam up there, and all I was thinking is like, this is actually, this is how am I going to swim this whole swim if this is so cold? I haven't been like, and I'd only at this point I'd only swam like 200 meters. I hadn't even started, and I was already thinking like, this is so cold. So, whenever like there's a photo, there was a photo of one of the guys. There's a group that come out and watch all the North Channel swimmers start and like clap them and take photos and like wish them luck before they go. They're called the Chunky Dunkers. They all live up where the North Channel starts, and they have some photos. And there's a photo. One of the photos you put up of me standing on the boat. You can see Scotland and all behind me. That's whenever I was looking out to land, before I started, and whenever I dove in to start, and I could see Scotland, and it was so far away. And for the first 2 hours, I couldn't get that out of my head. All I was thinking is Scotland is so far away. I've never swam. I've never swam 35 kilometers before. How am I going to swim 35 kilometers with nothing around me? Like, normally, I swim in a lake, or you swim parallel with the beach. Like, you're never like at some point I'm going to be 16, 17 kilometers away from any land, and that was all going through my head in the first 2 hours. And like I was really close to like taking like a panic attack or something. Like I was getting these waves of anxiety through like my whole body, of where I just kept doubting myself, like doubting that I could do it, doubting that like my body would hold up to the cold and everything. And I was just praying to like have like something happen that I would have to get pulled out of the water that wouldn't be me quitting, because you never ever want to quit yourself, because then people will be like, oh, he just couldn't do it. Whereas if something happened that made you quit, like say you got stung by a jellyfish and had like a really bad reaction and they had to take you out because you had to go to hospital or something, like that's not your fault, you know? Like
Yeah.
I was praying for something that would make me stop, that wouldn't be my fault, you know? Because
Yes.
that would give me an out. Um but
This,
that was,
I think
yeah,
this is the photo you were
that
talking
is the
about.
photo. Yeah. That's
I
see
found it.
see
I
the
found it.
Yeah, see the tiny wee. You can sort of see it just below the clouds, below the sunrise. That's Scotland over there.
Yeah,
So it
well,
is.
far away,
Yeah, really,
far
really
away.
far away. Um, yeah. So the whole first 2 hours were just, it was just purely driven by anxiety, all anxiety. And the only thing that got me through that was just thinking about the amount of people who had like sent me like words of support, you know, and you would just think, all these people think I can do this. Like they're not counting on you to do this, but like they think you can do this, Like nobody's really gonna care if you don't do it, but like they think you can. So like why not just give it everything you have? Like just leave it all in the water. Like if for argument's sake you do, like like it doesn't matter if you want to quit, like you're not going to quit, like you're never going to quit until you're either going to get to Scotland or you're going to die. That's where I left it in the water, as like I'm either getting to Scotland or I'm dying of hypothermia. It's one or the other, like. So the anxiety would leave you for like maybe like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then it would come straight back again. And you just tell yourself the same thing. It's like, I don't care if I'm going to have an anxiety attack, or I don't care about any of this stuff. I'm just going to keep swimming until I get to Scotland, or I take a heart attack. It's one of the others. One of the other. It's not my choice anymore, you know. And
But
then
the cool water is good for anxiety. So yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I kept going away for 5 minutes and then coming back again. Um, and then the second phase of my swim would have been everything after 2 hours. I have very little memory of a lot of it because like I just go into like this sort of like this dream state of where like you don't even really know where you are or what you're doing. It's just you're just going through the motions. You sort of know that you're trying really hard, like physically, but mentally, like you're in like you're basically in like on a different planet. So you are, yeah, that's just after the start
The
there.
start.
Yeah, that's just after the start. Yeah, I think there's a video of me just swimming in the middle. That would sort of be that would outline like the second phase probably.
Let
Um,
me see if I can add it here. Probably this one.
yeah. So like there, I'm at that's just me. Like I'm not thinking. Like I'm not like mentally there. If you know what I mean. I'm somewhere completely different. You sort of like sometimes come back into like reality. So you do, because like you feel pain, like everything in your body hurts. So for like the second phase, everything hurts. Your shoulders hurt, your abs hurt, your legs hurt, your back hurts, and but you just have to like try and leave that part. So you
Mm-hmm.
do like, um, I would whenever I was swimming, if a wee bit of like seaweed got caught in my fingers, I would hold on to it in between my fingers and play with it in my fingers. So like
Okay.
so what just to try and take my mind somewhere else. So my mind would only be thinking about the seaweed that would be in my hand. So I'd have a
Okay.
wee bit of seaweed and I'd be swimming with that for like maybe half an hour in between my fingers. Just
Oh
for the
wow.
sense Yeah, just for the sensation of something else, you know? Um
Yeah.
it's just the middle section was all about just trying to trick your brain into not letting you like recognize the pain, because everything does hurt and everything's going to hurt, but like at the end of the day, you get to have a long sleep whenever you're finished, like, so it's fine. You go to bed that night and you wake up tomorrow and you'll be better again. So you just have to like leave your brain
Mm-hmm.
and be anywhere else but in the water.
Yeah. So kind of, you know, techniques, mental techniques,
Yeah, it's all
concentration
mental techniques.
techniques,
Yeah,
something to try to get out of maybe thoughts that can, instead of pushing you,
yeah,
letting you down, and also let's say thoughts, maybe good thoughts, people you love, people you care.
yeah. See, before we started, we wrote in my arm in permanent marker. So we wrote positivity down my left side, down my left arm. So whenever I was swimming, like I would be able to read that it
Hmm.
said positivity. So then every time I saw it, it reminds you, because you forget things so quickly whenever you're swimming
Yeah.
long distances, that even like you would see it and you would be like, oh yeah, positive. You need to stay positive. Like you can't be thinking anything negative. And then we put Rocky on my right hand, because there's a quote from Rocky. It says, Rocky says, he says this to his son, and he says, it doesn't matter how hard you can hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. So it didn't matter how fast I could swim, it just mattered about how like much pain that I could take. As long as I was still moving forward, I was always going to make it to Scotland. I just needed to keep moving forward. So that was a really good mental quote for me from a movie that just kept me going.
That's good. That's well. I think that's good techniques, and also part of. Not sure if you already think about this as part of your training or meta training, but
Yeah.
this is something good for everyone that
Oh, it
wants
is.
to
Yeah.
do long distance swimming. Try to get like a list of
Yeah.
good things to which think about during these painful
Yeah.
momentums. It is not
And and
swimming
this
these distances. It's not easy.
no, but distance is relative as well. Like, for me, it was 9 hours, but some people they might find it really difficult to swim half an hour or like an hour. So, like anything that can get you to just break through the point of, or just allow yourself to feel uncomfortable. Allowing yourself to feel uncomfortable is really difficult. So if you can sort of escape that without stopping what you're doing, it's very useful.
Yeah, that's great, and it's a good advice for
Yeah.
everyone. Because well, also sometimes we, starting in open water, it's not easy. But
No,
when
it's
you
not.
start, maybe 1 kilometer or a teeny competition,
Yeah.
uh, it could count as the greatest one or the longest one for that person, for
Yeah,
that
exactly.
people,
Yeah.
for that
Everything's relative.
individual.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what
Yeah.
that's like my dad, like the day after I swam that, I went up and I was getting a photo shoot done up where I started the race, and there was a girl there, an English girl that had swam the North Channel on the same day as me, and it took her 14 and a half hours. And personally, I'm more impressed by what she did than what I did, because 14 and a half hours, that was 5 hours longer than me. That's a completely different game. That's so different to what I did. Like, I couldn't imagine doing 14 and a half hours in that North Channel. But like, I have so much respect for everybody just like breaking through their own barriers. I feel like
Yes.
success is all relative, and like a
Yes.
world record, like, yeah, for me, yeah, that's good. But like 14 and a half hours for somebody else who that's their world record. Like
Yes.
they don't need to worry about what time I do it in, as long as they're out there pushing themselves and breaking their own barriers down.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And this is something good to tell, because and coming from you especially, because sometimes we get like only numbers,
Yeah,
only but then what matters behind all that effort is what really matters. And yeah, the success that comes from your effort, no matter
yeah,
what it takes, no matter the measures, really.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's something that we can feel proud of
Yeah,
ourselves.
exactly. Yeah,
And
because
yeah, and
that's one thing
goodness.
I've always, yeah, that's one thing I've always tried to do. Like, I don't try and like, even whenever I was younger, it's not about like winning or like being the best. It's always about just trying to like improve for myself. Like, I would rather go out and get a personal best time in the pool than win the gold. It makes the gold is secondary. Like, me getting better is the primary focus.
Yes, and for example, we that or like okay, we start swimming sometimes time ago. Well, but there are people that don't do exercises relatively.
Yeah,
So the record for that person would be a star 1 week,
yeah,
swim at a week, and that would be
yeah.
yeah awesome, right?
That's it. Yeah, that's
And
it.
so
Everything is relative. You need to look at where you are and where you can get to, and just starting for some people, that's better than breaking a world record.
yeah, and that's amazing because it sometimes these type of recognitions gives the opportunity to give a speech, to be listened for everyone, and that's a good to know, because
Yeah,
sometimes some people may hear from you saying this, and they are going to be like motivated to start doing
I hope so.
something
Yeah, I hope so.
and
If I
break
can
their
motivate,
own
yeah,
record.
yeah. If I can motivate one person to just go out and try that wee bit harder to push themselves beyond their comfort zone, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, amazing. Well, that's good. Okay, then the third phase could be, yeah,
Literally,
maybe.
yeah. The third phase was literally just whenever I hit Scotland, because I had no idea. Yeah, I had no idea about anything, and then whenever I heard that's a world record, it was like, well, there we go.
And there he is, folks, on
Yeah,
arrival in Scotland.
Yes!
that's
Go
the third
on,
phase.
Jordan! Yes!
The clock time, the clock
But
time.
super crew.
Yeah, all my crew were great. Yeah, that
Yeah,
that
those
third phase,
clips.
see, touching land and like actually sitting down, it was great. Because I sat on the rock for a while, and it was so. That was the third phase. There was people up on those cliffs there, and they heard, because there's walkways and all on the cliffs, and they heard the commotion from the boats, and they were all like shouting and
Mm.
clapping and cheering and all,
Wow.
and like they didn't know what was going on. They just
Yeah,
knew that
like
somebody had did something.
oh, that's nice. Like a
Yeah,
little ceremony
yeah,
of
exactly.
welcome.
Yeah,
Welcome, you
yeah,
did it, you finished.
yeah. I know, it was brilliant. Yeah, it was really, really nice. It was really nice.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so it goes from anxiety into like numbness and trying to escape feeling uncomfortable to like just pure joy. So I feel like that's a lot of things, because it's not even just swimming. It's like some people, it's like just doing anything. Like they are like the three stages to doing something big. Like you feel anxious at the start, and then it's uncomfortable in the middle, but at the end you have this, you have that, the pure joy of actually completing what you set out to do.
right,
I
right,
feel like,
right.
yeah, that's my
Good.
three.
Yeah, and good way to summary the swim. You know,
Yeah,
coming through anxiety, loneliness, and then ending in joy. So yeah,
yeah.
that's perfect way to summary the three phases of your swim. Nice. Okay, so well, let's try to complete our agenda. Normally
Oh yeah,
we
no, yeah.
I have tons of questions, but well, let's try. Let's try.
No, 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 that's fine.
Okay, what about the marine life in the North Channel swim? Did you get any company at all? Any dangerous one? Any funny one? Sometimes we see dolphins, but sometimes we see other creatures.
Yeah, I saw a lot of jellyfish.
Really?
Yeah, so I saw like there was moon jellyfish, lion's mane jellyfish. Lion's mane's ones are the dangerous ones in the North Channel.
Wow.
So, but and then I saw these big barrel jellyfish that are like big, massive things, like huge. But they're not that dangerous. They're just massive. And I swam over the top of one, and yeah, but it didn't sting
Ugh.
me. Like I swam over its head. So, but whenever you hit it, like it didn't move. Whenever I swam over the top of it, it lifted me in the water instead of it going down. Like they're big, beefy jellyfish. Um,
Mm.
but the lion's manes, I got stung right on the tip of my toe. That was the only sting I got, literally on the tip of my toe.
Wow.
And so I was extremely lucky, very, very lucky. At about an hour in, I hit a big patch. So I literally, I saw like a few down. So then I had like a wee look up, and I could like see that I was swimming into like a big patch of them. So I just tried my best to just weave in and out of all of the jellyfish, and then
Like it was like I know obstacle
yeah, literally
career.
like an obstacle course. Yeah, I know, because where we swim, there can be a lot of weeds and stuff. So sometimes you need to like swim in and out of all the weeds. So it just felt like I was just in where I train. So but yeah, there was my dad saw a seal and stuff. I didn't see the seal. Apparently, it was swimming beside me. Um, but I didn't see much of that there. I only saw what was underneath me because the water's so blue in the North Channel. Like you
Blue.
can, yeah, you can see really really deep, but you can't see the bottom or anything. You can just see like it's it's like it's like looking into glass. Like you can see the jellyfish that are like 100 feet deep the whole way up, but you can never see the bottom, so you can't. But it's so nice. There's something really tranquil about like seeing jellyfish, because they don't really like move and all. Like they're just like I don't know. It's sort of like they're floating in space, and I find a wee bit of uh like solace in that. There, you know,
Yeah.
it's there's something really calming about them, the way like they're moving and floating and
I think they move, but very slowly. By
yeah, they're just like
not. It's not.
we
It's
pulse.
not like something like moving itself,
Yeah,
but by let's say, how do you say that? Contraction.
yeah, it is. Yeah, like a
Contractions
wee
itself.
pulse.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Something like that. So you're not, well, it is not going to swim or to move to your self-esteem
no, no, no,
directly.
no, no. It's
You can, if you can see it,
oh yeah, you can get out
if
of
the
its way.
water, if the water in the ocean you're swimming, it's enough, clear to see
Yeah,
it, then you can, yeah, do what you did,
yeah, you
that try
can. You can see
to
flag out.
avoid them. Yeah, but if the ocean it's not clear, it's kind of
Yeah,
dark,
just
you cannot.
no,
Yeah,
you can't.
that
No,
kind of difficult.
yeah, big time.
But they don't swim to stick you. They're like resting in the
Yeah,
boat.
I know.
But yeah,
The lions, me and jellyfish, their tentacles. Whenever I was looking at them, their tentacles are at least 7 foot long. So they are like
yeah,
they could look like their head can be really low, but then their tentacle could be like long enough to where like it could touch you. So like I was
yeah.
just like I'm staying away from all of those tentacles. I'm not going anywhere
Oh
near
my
there.
god, my god, my
Yeah,
god. That was, well, nervous about. I will be like, kind of
yeah.
but
But I've always
but
said this, like we're in their home, you know.
yeah,
Like you have to sort of you have to let them. You know, if they sting you, it's your own fault for being in their house. If
yes.
somebody walked into your house, you would probably be like, "Well, what are you doing here?" You know, so
Yes, yes.
you have to
Poor,
allow the jellyfish.
poor jellyfish,
Yeah, I know.
poor mom jellyfish, father
Yeah,
jellyfish,
yeah,
their children jellyfish
yeah.
are there. Yeah, so you need to take. Well, we need to be
We
careful with
do.
them when we go swimming.
Yeah, we
Sometimes
definitely do.
one push can destroy them.
Oh
So
yeah, exactly. You have to respect the water, like and the life that because it'll still be there whenever we get out.
yes,
So
and
it will be.
and jellyfishes have their purpose in the
Yeah,
ocean.
of course. Yeah,
Marine biologists normally, well, when we talk with marine biologists, they say, no, they, depending on the quantity of jellyfishes you can find in a given ocean, that is not normally, you may know about the health of that ocean.
yeah,
So yeah, so it's also a way to determine how
yeah,
we are doing about, ocean
yeah.
um,
The North Channel must be very
warming.
healthy.
Because they are a lot in a
Yeah,
lot
there's a
of
lot of jellyfish there.
colors.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, respect to jellyfishes.
yes, respect the jellyfish. Yeah.
Okay, so and well, what about this one? What could be the crucial moment of this swim? The moment that maybe, I don't know, a moment. You
There
normally
were,
get one half an hour or 45 minutes feed. I don't know how
yeah,
long you
every
were.
45.
Every
I
45.
swam every 45. Yeah. or I
And
fed every 45. Um, Crucial moment. There was a point. It was at Jessica got in from 3 to 4 hours, so she did, and then we were in like the meat of the swim. So Dorothy, my coach, didn't want to put Jessica in because I was swimming so well. So she didn't want to put her in to like just in case like it would upset my like stroke rate or whatever, or like it would change something about the swim. So she wanted to keep it consistent. And then at about it was coming up on the 7 hour feed. I didn't know what time it was at the time, but I was like I said to Dorothy, it's like, can I get Jessica in the water? Because like I need it, you know? Like
yeah.
I needed that mental boost of having her in, because whenever she gets in it, it's sort of like we're back just training, because we train together like every day, and I needed that. I needed that bit of company, even though like she's like slightly behind me and all. I can still see her whenever I'm breathing every time, and it's just it lifts you. So
Hmm.
she was in for from 7 to 8 hours. That was probably like the most like the probably like a turning point.
Hmm.
And it gave me like the strength to keep pushing, because I was pushing so hard the whole time, and I knew at that point like I needed something to help me continue that push. And if she hadn't have got in, maybe like my stroke rate would have dropped, or like my speed would have dropped or something. But I felt like that's where that really helped me.
Wow. And this is something that happens. Well, let's say to the majority of swimmers, of channel swimmers. I remember reading the book from Maria Holley. I don't know if you know her. She's a Mexican swimmer. She
Yeah,
completed 7 oceans. She wrote a book, and in that book, in one chapter, she mentioned that she was cruising, she was swimming the English Channel,
yeah,
and it was a very difficult moment. And one friend, specifically also friend and coach,
yeah,
swam to swim 1 hour with her.
yeah,
Well, the time that long the next feet,
yeah.
and it helps her
It really
to
does help.
feel better, and also it's like bring memories, brought memories from her other
Yeah,
trainings, and somehow make her feel comfortable again,
it does.
company, no lonely, and that I think that is something that happens
It's
when
huge.
we,
Yeah,
and maybe no, well, I'm not sure if everyone that attempts to cross these channels have that kind of a strategy or company prepare, but it is something good to have.
yeah. Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
now that you mentioned that as a crucial moment in your sim, and I also read from Marielle, I can say that, yeah, it would be a good advice or tip for anyone that wants to attempt a cruise in the channels.
Definitely. I wouldn't even dream about doing it without a support swimmer
Yeah.
ever. I would always, always, always bring a support swimmer.
Yeah, I think that's an important member of a crew in a
Yeah,
in a channel, in
yeah,
a
and it's
channel
it's
swim.
it's often like understated as well, because Jessica, like everyone asks about fading and your coach and like infinity and stuff, and then sometimes like nobody really knows about a support swimmer. Nobody really like all of like the news people and all were all like nobody ever asked about like support swimmer, but like half the time they hold like a more important role than even they believe, you know. Like I'm sure Jessica's sitting at home thinking now, oh yeah, you're talking rubbish. But no, like seriously, she was great. Really, really, like I need it. You need somebody that you've been training with for sure.
Yeah, that is, I think, another type of food, right? The one that
Yeah.
goes in
Oh
the
yeah.
soul.
Yeah. Oh, big
Another
time.
type of energy. Another type of
Yeah.
energy. That's great. Okay, now tell us, please, about your family team who
Yeah.
work with you toward this amazing goal. Because normally we know the swimmer, but also we want to know what are behind the swimmer.
Yeah. So there's me, my dad. My dad, he's the well, my dad actually he used to like coach in the club and stuff too. So like he knows his stuff about swimming. Um,
Oh, great.
and he would like say I was going on like long swims out in the loch and stuff. He would come and he would paddleboard beside. So he would. So if me and Jessica were going on any big long swims, because there's boat traffic and stuff in the lake where I swim. So like he would paddleboard beside us just to make sure that we didn't get in any trouble or uh, like that we were always be going to be seen. So like he was hugely helpful. And the same with my brother. My brother would come out and he would paddleboard as well, just to make sure that we were safe. And then there's my coach, Dorothy. Uh, was the one who's been coaching me for the last 19 years. So she's there all the time. Like she puts more effort into like growing swimming than anybody I've ever met in my whole life. Like she lives for it. Like all she wants to do is to see more people in the sport. And
Oh,
yeah, like she doesn't coach the pool swimming anymore. Well, she does. She still does do pool swimming, but her and Chris Judge, the other guy who's on my team, Chris Judge, he's a good friend and he had swam the channel before. Like him and this guy Gordy Hamill and Keith Gary, them three, they're all Gordy Hamill. He's a good friend of Chris's, and he attempted the North Channel but never did. He couldn't finish it. And then there was Keith Gary. He used to hold the male crossing record. He done it in 9 hours 50. So I broke his record at the same time as I broke Michelle Macy's record.
oh, wow.
Uh, so me, Chris Judge, and Keith, we were all coached by Dorothy. So we were, so Dorothy's coached all three of us from we were kids. So she has, but yeah, so Chris and Dorothy, they run this here thing. It's called the Loch Ness Monster Dunkers. So we swim in Loch Ness, and they run this open water group where everybody comes in and we swim in skins, and it's basically just like a big community of like hundreds of people that come down and swim every weekend and stuff all through winter. Whenever it's like 1 degree, like you don't have to swim for long, but you just everybody gets in and enjoys themselves. So that's the team. Oh well, we've got Jessica, the support swimmer. Yeah, so
Course. Here is a picture you in a boat, and I think your crew.
so that's Jacqueline just standing behind me. She works for Infinity. So she does. She's like the brains of the whole operation. Like without her, like none of this ever works. 100%. I was texting her like every day, stressing about stuff, and she was like, "Don't worry about it. I've got it sorted. I've got it sorted. Don't worry." And then that's the pilot there. That was Ian. He was the pilot. He literally stares at you for the whole time you're swimming, and drives a boat at the same time, and watches the GPS to make sure you're going in the right direction. Like he does 900 things at once that I have no idea how he does it, but he's well worth the money. And then that's my dad just to the right of him. You can sort of see him. And then that's Jessica wearing the blue hat. I don't know where Chris and Dorothy are in that photo, but yeah, a team is literally a team's more important than you. You know what I mean? If I was on my own, I wouldn't accomplish. I wouldn't even have left Donahue. You know,
Yes.
like the team is what gets you to Scotland. Like you think, oh yeah, I'm doing this here, I'm doing that there, but you're not. It's your team. Like without Jacqueline, I wouldn't have had a boat. Without my dad, like I would. Without my dad and Dorothy, like I wouldn't even be swimming. You know, like it's just yeah. You owe everything to your team, really. So you do. Like yeah, you put in a bit of effort here. Like, well, what's effort? You know, they put in time. They put in real time. Like Dorothy's put in
Yes.
19 years with me. My dad's put in 29. My dad's had to stick me for 29 years. So yeah, I think that's the
Yeah,
real
that's
success there. So it's more their world record than mine. Like I just did what they
yes.
told me to do.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely the crew, the team are, yeah, key. They they are part of every success of every swimmer, and yeah,
Yeah,
normally it's you swimming, yes,
yeah,
but if you don't have someone that supports you, the food, the route, um your support swimmer, ton of things that are behind
yeah.
a swimmer, yeah, it couldn't become a reality. So yeah,
No,
I
exactly.
think it's very important to know them, and yeah, know each other pretty good as you are, and the celebration at the end, it's like also
Yeah, exactly. It's a team world record. It might say my name on it, but it's not. It's not only mine. It's everybody's.
yes, yes, and congratulations for them as well. So yeah, team,
Yeah, big time.
it's super hyper teamwork.
Yeah,
Okay, so let me go to our next question. If you can give a three pieces of advices of swimmers who dream with the North Channel swim, what they could be.
come early before your swim
Okay.
and like come as early as you possibly can. Like if you could come a month before your swim, come a month before your swim and just train here. Get into the North Channel and get into the seas here and learn what they're going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably the biggest piece of advice I could tell anybody. Come and find out what it's really going to be like, because there's so many people spend all this money to come over and from like America and all, and it's different here. Like everywhere, like I could go and swim in Peru and it would be so much different to here. And I could struggle in Peru, because I'm just not used to it. But if you come and you acclimatize to what it's like, because sometimes we get it warm here, but we have like a completely different heat. Like it's humid. We have a real humid heat and stuff, and like everything's completely different. So I would definitely recommend come over early.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Another piece of advice would be get your food sorted. Uh, like my feeding was like my favorite part of the swims. So it was like if whenever I wasn't feeding, like I was consciously in the back of my head thinking about the next feed, you know. Have something that you like.
Oh,
Have
well.
something that everyone here, because I use jam sandwiches, and all of like the news stories have been talking about how I celebrated with jam sandwiches. But I ate jam sandwiches the whole way across. So strawberry jam, bread and butter basically. And uh, the sweetness and all, I just loved how sweet it was compared to because your mouth is so salty swimming in the sea for so long. So I just loved the sweetness of it. And uh, so have that there down, have something that you're actually looking forward to eat, and then you'll look forward to your feed times. And then third would be music on the boat for whenever you're feeding. Oh, what do you call it? I'll send you a wee video here. I got a speaker and made a playlist and got them to play music whenever I stopped to feed.
Mm-hmm.
So I did, and just the music. It didn't matter, like it just something that will sort of stick in your head, like a beat that will stick into your head for as long as possible after you've finished your feed. And the music really helps. The music's good, and it lifts the atmosphere as well, because you don't want to be on the boat and everybody sort of be like a wee bit gloomy and a wee bit glum, and like down. You want everybody to be up and happy and like, you know, even if they're not, even if they are feeling seasick, you want everybody to be like in together. So yeah, music definitely helped. So it did. I'm trying to find this video.
Okay, so yeah. So from on one side, you have your favorite food, like something
Yeah,
that you would like to eat, really.
yes,
Um,
definitely. Yeah,
more than maybe something that someone imposed you. No, this is good, this is better for you, but is it something that you really like it and also you train with
yeah.
that? You get adjusted to that. So that could
Oh,
be like a
100%.
plus,
Yeah,
right? A plus for you, an extra energy to your swim. Yeah, that's good.
yeah. Because hope, what do you call it? I read this thing and it was about rats and it was an experiment with rats and they put rats into uh like they put wild rats into water to see how long they would swim before they would give up. And wild rats
Mm-hmm.
would only swim for 15 minutes before they would give up and then they had to be lifted out again. So like basically they give up after 15 minutes. But if you put a domesticated rat in, it would swim for 60 hours before it would give up, purely because it has that bit of hope that it thinks its human's going to come back and lift it out. So it just highlights like it highlights like the power of like hope, you know, or like the power of like positive thinking. Like if a rat can think positive and swim for 60 hours, like I can think positive and last for the next 45 minutes until I get this food that I really want, you know? Like a human's not going to come and pick me up out of the water, but like I'm going to get something really nice here in 45 minutes. So all I have to do is keep swimming, you know? It's
Yes.
positive thinking. Yeah, it's a wee bit out there, but it's positive thinking as well, you know?
Yes, yes, and that's another good strategy.
Yeah,
Um, instead of thinking about the cool of the water, the pain, how the how choppy the water it's going to be, or is it,
yeah,
then you think my next food is going to be in half hour.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just
and my
always
next
think positive.
and my next food is I don't know, let's say strawberries,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
whatever,
Yeah,
my favorite, whatever. So it's
yeah.
brings you a plus, energy, positive energy to
Positive
your swim,
energy.
right?
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, that leads back to what was written in my left arm positivity. Everything, you can't let the negativity in. If you let the negativity in, you're already losing.
Yeah, so that's another good piece of advice. Let me see if I can add that, the video that you just sent me here, because I think it's something good to show.
Yeah, it just, what do you call it? My coach and all really likes it because it just shows that even doing this here and it's a serious thing, it's better. Let him play.
That's nice. Yeah, it's like you have a party. Every- That's very nice. It's like
Yeah,
you have a party every pit.
you
That
know?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's amazing.
yeah, not that all just lifts the mental like
Okay, so it's not
side
only
of it.
my favorite food in the next half hour, but also my party
Yeah, yeah,
with my friends, and that is cheering me up. So yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
that's that's very nice.
yeah. And you need that too because you're going to then put your head down for 45 minutes and not speak or see or really hear anything, you know? So you need those wee 1 minutes of memories to keep you going for 45 minutes, you know? And
Yeah.
the more you can compact into that 1 or 2 or 3 minutes of the feed, like the longer it'll last you for the 45. So like
Yes.
if you have your favorite food and you have your music and you have everybody having fun and all that there like that, it's like more condensed. So then you can have like it'll last you longer.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And again, good strategies, huh?
Yeah.
All right, and I think well, I think you mentioned this
Yeah,
already, but let me again, like, remark on this maybe favorite quote that you may have.
yeah. Well, there's the two quotes. There's the one. Well, there's two. There's the main one, and it is, if it was easy, everybody would do it. So basically, it just means that what you're doing is hard, but it's good that it's hard, because if it wasn't hard, then it wouldn't really be an achievement. Like, like if everybody swam from here to Scotland and it was normal, like it would just be meh. Oh, you just swam to Scotland. But it's really hard, and not a lot of people do it because it's really hard, and that's why you're doing this. Like, you're doing this because it's hard and nobody else does it, and it's a bit mad that you're doing something like this. Um, and then my other favorite quote is the one from the movie, from Rocky, about, it's not how hard you can hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. It's a good one to like live by. Like, it doesn't you come up against uh, adversity like all the time in your life, and you come up against things that you don't want to do, or things that are hard for you, but you just have to just keep moving forward, because you can't stay still for too long, or else you're going to get left behind.
Hmm.
And it's the same in the swim. You can't stop for too long, or else you're going to get cold. You're not going to be able to keep going. So you just have to just keep up one hand in front of the other, and just do one stroke after another, and keep going. And there was one more. There was a girl. There was a woman, Rachel, that swam the North Channel. Uh, she's from Australia, and she sent me a wee video message like the night before I swam, and she said, um, that if you just keep swimming, eventually you're going to hit land. It doesn't matter how long it takes or whatever, but if as long as you're swimming, you will eventually hit land somewhere. So I took that, and I was just like, yeah, if I just keep swimming, it doesn't, like, even if it didn't hit Scotland, it would hit England, or it would hit Wales, or it would hit somewhere, like, you know what I mean? Like, as long as I keep swimming, this will end at some point. And it's like, I think that's a good one to live by too. Like, everything does come to an end. It doesn't matter if it's good or it's bad, but particularly the bad stuff. Like, as long as you just keep going through it, um, at some point you'll get to the end, and you'll be better for it.
Yeah, that's well. Those two are great, huh? And it's if someone needs some kind of positiveness, yeah, they can write these
Yeah,
three quotes in a paper and maybe stick it over any visible place and read
definitely.
it to keep moving in whatever project they have,
Yeah,
to accomplish or to overcome any difficulty they may be um, passing over. Yeah, so yeah, that I think these are good. That is why I would like to include these in this kind of interviews, because it maybe can bring light, hope, and
yeah.
tools maybe for someone
Oh, definitely.
that can listen to us and can eventually be helpful.
Yeah,
Okay, so I
definitely,
will write
definitely.
myself and I will put in a visible place, and
Yeah,
also I
do.
will share. I will share with people in my close
Good.
to me.
Yeah,
That's
definitely. Yeah,
very
'cause
good advices.
thank you.
Quotas, super quotas.
Yeah,
Okay, and this one, well, we are about to finish. Don't
yeah.
get desperate.
Oh, no, no, no. I'm happy. I'm happy. It's a nice conversation. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, I usually try to plan, but sometimes details.
Oh, you get
It's not
talking. It's
easy.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
No, I'm in no rush.
it's
I'm in no rush at all.
okay.
Um,
Thank you. What
no,
are the plan? What are your plans now for open water?
yeah,
Well, any project that you would like to share with us? Maybe some other channels crossing.
yeah. Um, so like, I sort of have to like split it up, like, into like long-term plans and like short-term plans. Um, so like you're talking super, super long term. Eventually, hopefully, try and get the Ocean Sevens done, or the Ocean Seven. That's like super long term. Like that's probably going to take like 10 years. But short term, there is an Irish Triple Crown. It's
Yeah.
there's three. So there's the North Channel, and then there's another channel that's down at the very south of Ireland. And it's from like the most southerly point in Ireland, it's a wee island off Ireland, back to the mainland. It's 21 kilometers. And then there's another swimming at the Galway Bay. It's only like 12 kilometers, but it's really bad currents. So
Mm.
it's quite a tough swim. So even though it's only like 12K, it can take people like over 4 hours to swim. So it can, just because of the currents. Um,
Mhm.
so that's like super short term, them ones. And then I'm genuinely talking about doing, because see it about 3/4 of the way over the channel. In my head, I was thinking I could definitely do this there and back. I could definitely go to Scotland and then swim back.
Oh, wow.
So that is, it's not long term goal, but it's not short term, because it's going to need a lot of figuring out and a lot of different training and stuff for it. But it's a possibility that's in there, and it's sort of floating around the team a wee bit, and um, yeah, it could be in the making, because nobody's ever done it before. Nobody's ever swam to Scotland and then
No,
swam back.
wow. But of course, no one. The
Yeah,
coldest, the
yeah,
coldness. Yeah, it's not easy.
no,
Only that one way it's difficult, then
yeah.
thinking on the other coming, yeah, it's also difficult.
Some people have tried, but um, they've all had to stop on the way back.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's a
Hmm.
Why not?
Oh, why
Yeah,
not? We have
yeah,
music, we have food.
yeah, exactly. With music and sandwiches. So
Enough,
why-
enough ingredients to
yeah,
swim uh,
exactly.
way back.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
If whenever I do that, there we'll have to do another podcast.
Yeah, I would
We
love.
will. Yeah,
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, I enjoy. Well, I super enjoy talking about open swimmers, open water, open. Yeah, different places where to swim around the world. You,
yeah,
the ocean is so big,
it
and we are
is. Yeah,
in only one part of that. We are in the Pacific Ocean, but
yeah.
you have other oceans there, other
No,
beaches, other jellyfishes.
yeah,
So it's always good to know, and I
it
love
is.
take time to exchange these experiences. So definitely, thank you a lot for this.
No problem at
I
all.
I have it's like having a lot of experience and then share with everyone that are interested. Yeah, it's you know uh,
That's what we were saying that before, but that's how you grow a community.
yeah.
Like that's why Dorothy and Chris, that's why they've got the dunkers, and that's why it's got so big, because they have such a wealth of knowledge in open water and in like swimming, that it attracts people. So it does, because the people have so much to learn from them. Like what Dorothy doesn't know about swimming isn't worth knowing. So. Uh, like that's why people like follow her. That's why she's been my coach for 19 years, because she's just so good at what
Ah,
she does, and um, like she freely just gives away all of this knowledge about swimming and about open water and about safety and all like that there. And I think
yeah.
that's like she's like taught me, like that's the most important thing. It's not about you and like what you do. It's about what like you can do for everybody else and for the sport. It's like we run this group for like kids and stuff down there in the lock, and like I get in and I help Dorothy with like the coaching of the kids and stuff, and like that's what we need to do. Like we need to build it up. you know. So then there can be more people like me and like you who want to go out and talk about it and share it with everybody else, you know.
Yes, yes,
Even
that's
if
exactly. I think that's exactly the goal of. How can I explain? When you start knowing or feeling or discovering how open water swimming can bring to your life, then you also like to share that with others and try to involve anyone else if
yeah,
they're interested. So it's not easy, of course, because
no,
we don't swim by since we're born. We need to learn that. It's an ability that we need to learn. Then
yeah,
also then jump to the ocean. Also, it's not well that easy because it's cool, the waves, the currents, but
yeah,
everything, it started in one point and then you start like it. But if nobody told about that, nobody tell about that, nobody share that, then how the other people can at least know. So I think that's something also good to do. Um, us that somehow know about open water, that see a dolphin in the middle of the ocean,
yeah,
a jellyfish as well, and yeah, and try to share and then involve more people in that same adventure or sports. Yeah, I think that that would be a good goal. So let's keep doing that.
yeah. Let's keep building. Definitely.
That's great. Okay, so now time to read our greetings from our audience, and in case they have any question, we can read it and try to answer it. Well, we have I think we have a greeting from Robin Simpson.
Yeah, he's my friend. So he is. Yeah, he
My
lives just in
hero.
it. Yeah, he's what do you call it? He's my friend. So he has been my friend for a long.
Yeah. Our friends are, the ones that gives positive vibes whenever
Yeah,
you need. Maybe they just give because care about you, but they don't know that that is a very important fuel for us to
oh,
keep
yeah, it is.
going in this kind
Yeah,
of adventures. Because we remember when we're swimming in the middle of a channel or in a swim competition, whatever we think about them.
yeah,
uh, he sent messages for me last night. He write he
yeah,
take a time to say I'm with you in this
yeah.
adventure. You are not
It
alone.
makes a
Yeah, and
huge
that
difference. Definitely, it does. Support's huge.
yeah. And well, I think this is another comment, such a special moment when Jordan embraced his father. And no, well, not all swimmers have that.
Yeah, I know. I'm
That
very lucky with that. Yeah,
yes, because I would like that my father comes to my scenes, but my father is not interested
yeah,
because they don't like, got into the water. Maybe it's not
yeah,
what they like. But yeah, if your father, if your mother, if your sister, if your brother, people, your family are
yeah.
around you and celebrate that moment with you, well, that is that, the
Yeah,
piece
it's the
of,
icing on the cake. Yeah,
yeah.
like your family, like can like even if Robin was there, like it's the people there that support you. It doesn't need to be your family. It can be anybody. It's having that network of support around you of like family and friends. Like you need, yeah, you need that network.
Yes, it's important. Sometimes also well, when we enroll to do these type of things and do not get enough, permission to
Yeah,
do that, because sometimes happens the opposite, right? It's dangerous. Are you
yeah,
crazy? Why you're doing that?
yeah,
And then you get,
yeah,
but then the other part is that they cheer you up. Okay, be careful, no, or ask about you. And what about your food? You have enough food? You're bringing.
yeah.
Try to add some positive things, or
Oh,
maybe
definitely. Yeah,
to the plan, and that's good.
yeah.
So yeah, so definitely it's that is important. Okay, so well, we're coming at the end of this interview, of this conversation. Final words for Latin America open water community, especially Peru, Mexico, Chile, and all countries that may follow Relatos de Alta Mar. And this this page has it's going to be 2 years in this September from the
Oh,
start date.
congratulations.
Yeah, and well, we have friends that come here in the interview to celebrities of open water. That is what I call. From Mexico, Chile, and also Peru. My Peruvian friends. We have Eduardo Collazos here that is just completed the triple crown and
Yeah,
it's going to following. He says, "I'm just keep swimming. What is the
yeah,
next
that's it.
swim?"
Yeah,
And also Gustavo Lores, he just completed Manhattan. So I try to also uh, have that experience from not only my country but for other countries. We have
yeah,
an a big ocean and would like to keep moving on this community, to keep growing our community. Not only, well, Latin American, we speak Spanish, but also we can learn from other countries. And also we can also give you some other
yes,
perspective of what we have in the Pacific Ocean here.
yeah. Oh no, definitely spread all information. That's how things get better.
Yeah. All right. So your final words, everyone is, um,
Yeah,
it's ready.
just that's it. Just keep swimming. As um, I swim because I love swimming, and if if you swim and you love swimming, just continue. Just find what you love to do and just continue to do it. Whether that's swimming or even just getting into the water, just spend time and enjoy it and just do it. Like why not? And show people because a lot of people don't think that stuff is so accessible. Um, the dunkers with me, it's super accessible for everybody, and it just takes one person to say to three or four friends, "Here, guys, I'm going down to swim in a lake here," and they're like, "You're not swimming in a lake." It's like, "Yeah, there's loads of us come down," and then they come down and they're like, "Oh wow, I didn't even know this was a thing." So spread the word within your own communities too. Uh, don't be afraid to bring friends along and to bring strangers to your groups because that's at some point all of us were strangers and just keep bringing strangers in, and everybody's so accepting in the open water community that strangers will always be accepted. I think the open water community. I think like were you ever a pool swimmer before you were like? Did you ever compete in the pool? Whenever
Yes,
yeah, so like
eventually.
I don't know if like pool swimming's the same in Peru, but like it's a lot more like competitive and pool swimming's like
Yes.
it's all about like the competition, whereas like open water it's more like family and it's more about like the experience, you know? And I think that's why we're like more open to get more people in, you know, because we love the experience of it, and whenever you love the experience of something you want to share the experience. So that's all that's what my final thing would just be like share it with as many people as you can because a lot of people won't realize that they can do it, you know.
Yes.
All it takes is that wee nudge to get some people to in, and then then they'll embrace it with open arms.
Yes, definitely. Well, swimming in the pool is one thing, and then going open water is another.
Yeah,
I started swimming I think 15 years ago, and I'm swimming about 6 years in open water,
yeah.
and yeah, it's different. It's
Oh,
different,
it's
and
so different. Yeah,
I know I need to go back to the swimming pool to practice technique,
yeah.
but I prefer go swimming to the
Oh,
beach.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
Every day.
feeling.
I
Yes,
I would I
that's
would go to open water every day if I had the choice. But sometimes the pool's good for something.
Yes, and the other thing, as you mentioned, is the places that you can discover
Yeah,
in your way to do open water. So, for example, here in Peru, we have beautiful places, not only in the ocean but only in lakes and lagoons.
yeah.
So that is something that I like to explore, and also I like to share via Relatos de Alta Mar, because it's, a kind of experience that you can bring to people. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. Yeah, yeah. It is
Okay.
beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, that is the Titicaca Lake.
Oh, really? That's
Yep,
class.
and that is 300,850 meters over the sea level. So
Oh,
it's
so it's high. Yeah,
super high, and
yeah,
it's cool. It's pretty cool. I went there on July, the beginning of July, and that month is the coolest of the month,
yeah,
of the year, and I couldn't only just go for 3 minutes at the beginning, and then
yeah,
next day in the other, and I think 3 or 4 only times went to swimming, but only 3 minutes, four
yeah.
minutes, and the longest was 5 minutes. I couldn't swim
No,
any
man.
more longer
Yeah,
because the temperature was so
yeah. So
cool.
low. Yeah,
Maybe I don't know, maybe
yeah.
degrees
Centigrade.
centigrade. Yeah,
Yeah,
and you feel the coolest in your legs, and
yeah.
you just need to
Oh, you
swim
need to
swim,
go. Yeah.
and yeah, and then you can, well, in the altitude cannot let you breathe enough as you
No,
want to increase your speed, but the landscape is so
it is.
beautiful.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
So yeah, it doesn't matter if it only was 5 minutes.
Oh, it
But
doesn't. No.
I was
Yeah,
so happy
but
there. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, exactly. 5 minutes is plenty sometimes. Just to increase the mood. It's it's it's
Yeah,
crazy what
and
5 minutes can do.
yes, and it was very, very nice. And so that reminds me what you told about open water and the community that we have here. So the what the feeling of knowing, of discovering new landscapes, new places to swim.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, it is. I know, I know. You would never see that in a pool, so we need to go outside.
No, no. So that is also one goal of this page. Try
Yeah.
to show new places where swimmers from everywhere can also eventually
Yeah.
go and swimming. That
If I'm
beach
ever in Peru, I'll need to go up to the top of that mountain and swim in that lake. Right?
that beach is called Chatuma Beach, and
That's in the beach.
it's close to a district named Pomata
Yeah,
in Puno, that is in the south part of Peru. So whenever you want
remember I'm
to
here.
go hiking, and then three
Yeah.
minutes 3 minutes swim, yeah, just let me know. We can go there.
Is it really
I,
wide? How big is the lake?
well, it has, I think it's let's see, 21 kilometers. Well, it's kind of
It's big. Yeah,
wide.
it's a big
Yeah,
lake. Yeah. Has
it
anybody
is.
ever swam it?
Yeah, yes, I think yes.
Huh.
But yeah, you can cross, from this
Yeah.
side to the other, this other. Yeah, so yeah, you can do it, you can test it. And I have family close to that place, so that is
Oh,
why
really?
I go. Yeah, I go to my vacations, and
Yeah.
then I go. My plans is one day hiking, the other day go swimming. One day hiking, the
Yeah.
other day swimming, and then
Perfect, isn't it?
yeah, and when I had to go around 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. in the morning because of the temperature.
Yeah.
Then, and so I say, I'm going to today. I'm not going to take lunch here, I will go my picnic to the beach.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very funny. I like spending
yeah.
time there. So
So
whenever,
picturesque.
yeah, so whenever you have plans to visit Peru, just let me know. We can go
I
there
will
and just
definitely. Yeah,
taste the water, and
for sure.
eventually you're maybe you are going to swim more than one than me, but that the
It's
thing
not a
is that
race.
it's a beautiful, beautiful beach. It's the most beautiful beach I have ever seen.
Yeah, yeah. No,
And
that
it is in
makes
the
sense.
lake, and
Yeah, I know. No.
I think it's a white sand. I don't know
Yeah,
if you see it. White sand. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful place.
that's class. Like
Yeah.
Bora Bora.
I will send you pictures
Yes, do
in
send me them on Messenger.
yeah,
Yeah,
so you can also take a look and also plan another adventure
yeah,
here.
I will for sure.
Okay, perfect. All right, so okay, it's time to close this interview. It was a pleasure, Jordan, to meet you, to talk to you, to got all the experience you have to bring to all this community,
Oh, the
and you
pleasure
are
was all mine.
and you are welcome. You have a super invitation to come to Peru to swim in our beaches. We have a here a competition that is called Olaya, La Ruta Olaya in Spanish, but it's like
Yeah,
says Olaya swim. You have to swim about 22K. The temperature is about 15 degrees Celsius, and
yeah,
you have currents. You have some jellyfishes, but not the ones that you have in maybe
yeah,
in there, because the water here is cool, and it's nice. It's a nice
yeah.
place. So
No,
whenever
I'll look at that. So, well, definitely, I'll look that up. They'll let you swim.
the Lions, yeah, and it's a competition that took place on December. This time, it's going to take place in December because of the pandemic year that we
Yeah,
have. It goes postponed. It usually goes it is in February, but this year was postponed to December. So maybe next year it's going to be again on February. But
yeah,
it's a nice competition. It's, let's say, it's the longest swim that we have in Peru here.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Very
it's
good. Yeah, I'll definitely look that up. That looks class.
yes,
Looks
and it
really
will be,
nice.
yeah, it could be really nice to have you here.
Yeah,
Well, whenever you want, whenever you can.
yeah. Perfect.
All
Sounds like
right.
a plan.
All right, Jordan. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Also, thank you to our audience, our friends that follow this interview. We hope that you may find useful advices from Jordan from this conversation to follow your own dreams, to cruise your own channels, and eventually, if you are not a swimmer, start swimming. Just 1K, just, I don't know, 100 meters, whatever. Just try, and then you're going to see why we're so passionate about swimming. All right. Time to say goodbye to close the interview, but we are going to keep in touch.
Excellent. Yes, perfect. We will. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Jordan. Appreciate it.
Cheers. No, thank you.
A big, a big hug.
Yes, thank you very much. Bye bye. See
Bye.
you later. Bye bye.
Thank you.